Hello guys. I'm continuing to make my frame, my stand for the bike when I remove the swinging arm. So I've just been down to the metal shop and I've got 50 by 10 by 3 metre length for 30 quid. Because on eBay, for me to buy two 1 metre lengths, it'd cost me something like 40 quid. So anyway, so I'm going to get this in my shed now. It'll just go on the floor somewhere, and we shall get cracking on. So I'm going to have a go at making this frame now. This is going to be my ZX12R frame to hold the bike up without a swinging arm on. So what I've done is I have got a frame off eBay, cheap one. Got the metal. Once I finish with this frame, I'm going to clean it up and I'll bang that back on eBay. So what I need to do now is somehow get this frame up on here, hanging off the rafters at a certain height off the floor from my quick measurements, 400, 750, whatever, and then I can start making it. So I'll be back when the frame's up there. Right, I know it's a bit crude, but it's worked. So when I had my frame at the moment is on the paddock stand, so I measured from the floor up to the bottom, the centre of the bottom bolt on the rear set, and it's 400. So I've sort of like I'm hanging this frame off my joists, and I've just put that wooden pole in to stop it spinning round, but hopefully you can see that. I don't know if it's going to zoom in or not. So 400 is lined up with that bottom rear set mount. So we've roughly got it there. So that now is the same height off the floor as it is on the paddock stand, if that makes sense. Obviously the swinging arm comes down with the wheel, and the paddock stand's underneath the swinging arm. So now all I've got to do is make a frame to fit these down there. Right, so that's going to be the feet of the frame. It's just basically some of that shit that I had lying around. You can tell how long it is because it's rusty. I actually bought this when I was building the shed, so I'm going to put it up there, but I've got angle iron instead. So anyway, so that's going to be the feet. So what I need now is like, in fact here look, something like this. Do you know what I mean? Something like that now, going up to them two brackets now. So I'll cut a length for this stuff, so it goes up to there, and then I can start getting it ready to drill the holes. Right, what to fucking somehow get this out and cut that back in two. Right, so we've got a bit of a mock-up now. So what I've done is the bottom bit's 600. I've just obviously gone straight down the middle, straight down the middle of the vertical bit as well, and I've cut it a bit higher than the bracket. Now what I'm trying to do is when I want it on the stand, I want to try and keep this bit here level. I don't know why, I just think it'll look better. So that bit is obviously level. I've just got a magnet there just holding it up as well. But you can see, I'm hoping this is going to focus in because, so if you look at that bottom mounting there, it's actually offset to that one. let me get me, you might be able to see better behind this. So that's the bottom mounting there, clamped to the piece of metal. But then if you look at the top mounting, there's a gap, and not only is it out that way, that bottom mounting is exactly in the centre of that bar, but the top one is just off. For me to get the two in the same bar, one hole would be there and one hole would be there, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Now this is only 50 wide. If this had been about maybe 75 wide, it'd have been perfect. So what I'm going to have to do is get some more bar and then slot it behind there and weld it to it, and then maybe just have a bit welded on like that or something. I don't know yet. What I could do is, but I don't think I'd be able to do this very well, is have it as like that, a bit of an angle, so both of the holes are in the centre, if that makes sense. I could do that, I suppose, but I'd have to make sure that butts up with that perfectly straight or something. So that's what I'm after, something like that. Now obviously that, I don't think that'll be able to take the weight of the frame and the engine, because I've still got my front end in, so the front wheel will still be on the floor. It's just taking the weight of the back, that's all. But I don't know, maybe if it was strong enough it'd hold the bloody engine and the frame without a front end on. Obviously I'll have to brace, you know, I need some bracing down there and then some bracing down there, wouldn't I? And maybe even some to there, I don't know. But what I was thinking as well was capping this end off and that end off, you know, with a bit of metal or something like that, and then that channel then can be used to, you know, if you take any bolts off, just throw your bolts in there so they won't get lost as well. Anyway, I'll carry on. Right, so to get them brackets lined up, I've had to put in a bit of padding, let's call it. So as you can see, the bottom bracket there is lined up perfectly with this vertical bar, but then the top one had a gap. So I've found a bit of metal that just nicely snugs into that gap, and I've also managed to get the two holes sort of like on the same 50mm bar, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So the holes are on there. So what I need to do now is obviously that bit needs welding onto there, and then obviously welding down there as well. Just tack it on for now, I think. And then somehow I need to find out how to put the bolts through there and mark, because I need obviously I need the centres, don't I? So I was thinking of okay, no, I don't know what I'm thinking, to be honest with you. How am I going to do that? I wonder if I can get the bolts that hold the subframe on and put a bit of maybe paint on end of it or something and just screw it in until it touches. Anyway, I'll have to wait and see. Right, so what I've done is I put some tape round, and then I just put the bolts in from the opposite side. I just twisted them, so you can see there's a indentation there and there's one there. Obviously I've marked that before I took it off, so I know where to put it. And what I'd probably do, because I'd have to go through 2 lumps of steel there, the bolt, so I'll get that one first, I think, drill that one first, then I'll drill that one. Then what I'll do then is I'd put on some tape on this side, and then, like I say, fix it all back up again, and then put the bolt through and twist it so that the dent comes through to this one. Because I know I could probably do a little bit bigger, couldn't I, than the bolts, because obviously I've used a big thick marker pen there and I shouldn't have done really. But it gives you an idea of the positioning of the holes. So the lower one is in front of the top one, and to confirm it, the lower one is in front of the top one, just. So I need to centre punch them, and I can get them drilled. Right, so what I did before I put the tape on, I actually drew round the mounting bits with a marker pen, and as it happens, that looks as though it's worked, because the holes look to be in the centre of where I drew, and I drew that before I even put the tape on and put the bolt in, so I'm well happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I need to see if I can get a measurement, don't I, from that centre to that centre, if I can, and then just make sure this is the same, and then I'll just fucking stick my drill through that and then drill the second hole, I think, because like I say, I've used a big thick marker pen and I shouldn't have done, so I don't know if it's there or if it's there. But anyway, let's see how it goes. Right, so I've only got a drill bit big enough to allow one of these. Oh, I don't know what size it is, but the one I want to use is something like that. So as you can see, there's quite a difference, so I need another drill bit. But as an example, I've managed to get it through now, and you can see there that there's 2 bolts in. So there's 2 bolts through. The other side there, look, as well. Oh, can you see that because of the bloody sun? Just hang on. So you can see that bolt there, and then there's another bolt there. So obviously once that's welded onto there, it should be, you know, the 2 bolts there, look. It should be perfect, hopefully. I'll have to go in a minute because Arlas is home in a minute. So I think what I need to do tomorrow then is drill that, put it up against, clamp it to that one, and then just drill the fucking hole straight through that. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and get the measurements. I'm going to before I weld it all up, I'm going to get measurements and shit like that, and I'll put it into a PDF or something. But no, I think that's going to look alright, is that, isn't it? Hopefully. Right, so far so good. Right guys, I've done a bit more now. So I've now managed to get the holes aligned up to fit the brackets and the other side. But please take note that I only had these spare little bolts. These are 8mm, I think, just holding them on, whereas I've actually drilled the holes out to fit a 10mm bolt like that. So that bolt actually fits through perfectly through all of these holes, but I've only got that, and I've no washers and nuts. So as I've tightened these up, because these bolts are only 8mm and the hole's 10mm. It's just cockeyed a little bit, but once I get these proper bolts in, it'll all straighten up. So I've also put the backing plate on for there, if you can see, as shown before. That's the bottom bracket and that's the top bracket, and they're just slightly offset. Same with the other side. So obviously once I've welded that onto there and welded that one onto there, after I've lined it up obviously, so what I need to do now is I'm going to do some sort of like, you know, like a brace like that. Obviously I'll make it so it's nice and neat, but that's what I want to do now. A little brace, some braces, one on each side, well, two on each side, so one there like that, and then two on the other side. So I'll do that next, I think, because I've still got a bit of that metal left. This one here, that one there, the 3 metre length I got. So I'll do them, but I think what I need to do, to be honest with you, is get the proper 10mm bolts in first of all with the washers and the nuts, so it lines up. Make sure these are straight, and then I just need to tack that onto that on both sides, and then I can do the bracing. I think, and I'm just debating whether to have a plate behind here, so it'll also hook onto them two as well. I mean, these should be strong enough, because at the end of the day, these two brackets hold, you know, you as a rider and a passenger on there. So for example, I'm 100 kilos, so if I take somebody else on at 100 kilos, that's 200 kilos that these are holding up. Well, there's no way that engine weighs 200 kilos, plus I'll have the front end in it. But if I make it sturdy enough, this might be able to support the frame with the engine without the front end and without the rear end on. So if that makes sense, if them two brackets can hold up, you know, like I say, a rider and a passenger, then I'm pretty sure it can hold up an engine. But anyway, so what I'll do then is I'm going to carry on with this tomorrow, because our lass will be home soon. I'm going to take the dogs on the canal to meet her. So yeah, so I'll carry on tomorrow, but then that'll be the next part of this video, so there'll be a part 2. So hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do, and we'll give it a go.